Konnichiwa! Welcome back to the Retro Game Boy Show, and today we're going to be discussing another brand new game for old retro gaming hardware. Let's get into this. Game on! Now, I've been making a few Sega videos of late, but if Sega's not your thing, then fear not, because you can check out the rest of the Retro Game Boy channel for all your retro gaming goodness. And if you like what you see, you can hit the subscribe button somewhere down the bottom here, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on your retro gaming. There seems to be a mini surge in new games for old hardware, and the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis seem to be getting the best and most authentic experiences of these new game releases. A high bar has been set with games like Tanglewood and Xenocrisis, and you can check out my full review of Xenocrisis in the link above. Now, there have been some new Nintendo games as well released for old hardware, but these are far and few between and of far lesser quality. And this is mainly down to the fact that developers are extremely nervous of developing for old Nintendo hardware, given Nintendo's current position on anything outside of the Nintendo ecosystem. In 2020, Sega fans are in for a real treat as French developer Neofid bring their new game, Demons of Asteborg, to the Sega Mega Drive and Sega Genesis. An up-res version with multiplayer and online features will also make its way to the Nintendo Switch and Steam later on in the year. Now, Demons of Asteborg will be a side-scrolling action platformer with elements of metroidvania in there, although the developers have said that it's closer to castlevania with keys and doors than it is to Metroid. Now, core gameplay seems to be a cross between Ghouls and Ghosts and Castlevania, and the art style is kind of a stylized version of Castlevania itself. There are also levels that take direct inspiration from games like Mickey Mania with this 3D staircase that we can see here, and games like Space Harrier with this very cool looking dragon chase. Now, there are 3 playable characters in the game: Garrett, Zadamus and Zagamore, and it's up to them to rid the kingdom of an invading demon army intent on reigniting an ancient war. As you run and jump around these sprawling levels of the game, you can use your melee weapon to dispatch enemies close up, or use your ability, which is a ranged attack. You also have access to a special move which obliterates everything on the screen. Now, there are 8 levels planned for Demons of Asteborg: Plains and Village, Cemetery, Forest, Swamp, the Underground, the Mountains, the Castle, and Hell. Now, as you batter your way through these amazing looking levels, you're going to find yourself picking up health urns, which restore your health, and vigor vials. These allow you to restore your vigor, which are used for that all-important ranged attack and your special move. Now, the vigor gauge sounds like a really interesting mechanic. It sounds like as a player you're going to have to balance how much of your abilities you use, your ranged attack you use, versus your special ability, that attack that just takes out everything on screen. And this could be a really key mechanic, especially as you come up against bosses, and depending on the difficulty of the game, it could be that balancing that need to take out enemies from afar and saving up a special move for your end boss is really important. Now, during the team's Kickstarter for this game, there were some really interesting stretch goals. But by far the most interesting of all those stretch goals was for €1 million, they would add online to the Mega Drive and Genesis carts. Now, this really captured my imagination when I saw this. Having online on original hardware for a Mega Drive and Genesis game? That sounds pretty compelling. Now, unfortunately, they didn't hit the €1 million, but there was an interview with the developers carried out by Stika, or Stika, I'll put a link to the channel up here, where the developers talk about how they could possibly achieve the online mode on the Mega Drive and Genesis. Now, it started off as a bit of a joke between the team, but as they looked into it, they found that it was possible to add a wireless adapter to the actual original hardware cartridge, allowing them to have the online features that we're probably going to find on the Switch and Steam versions. And that's the full preview of Demons of Asteborg. Hot off the heels of Xeno Crisis, we have a brand new Sega Mega Drive and Genesis game coming to us in the third quarter of 2020. It's just amazing to see how much support there is for original hardware, and especially for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis, one of my personal favourite consoles. Now, if you're excited about this game, have any questions or any more information on the game, then feel free to leave a comment below. And if you want to see the full review of Demons of Asteborg or anything retro gaming, then why not stay tuned to the Retro Game Boy Show. And as you've made it to the end of the video anyway, you might as well check out these two videos over here.